All right, Maddie, welcome back to the Ask Maddie show. Maddie, how are you feeling?
I'm doing excellent. Excited to talk some crypto today.
We are super excited, team, because we are doing a giveaway. I talked to Maddie. I'm like, Maddie, let's do a giveaway. And he is generously offering one of you 2,500 Casper. It's super easy. All you have to do is like the video and go into the comment section and write out CSPR, the ticker for Casper. Like CSPR in the comment section, and we will pick a lucky winner next week on the show. We'll do a little spin the wheel. It'll be super organic and fun, and one of you gets to go home with some free crypto, which is pretty fun. Maddie's super generous. Thank you for doing that. But before we get into the show here, talking all about Casper, become a Crypto Charge member. Click the link in the pinned comment below. Take you directly to our website, show you all our tools and everything we have to offer there. Swag, shop.cryptocharge.com. Maddie's on like a 3-week streak of not wearing any Crypto Charge swag. Very unfortunate. But team, in today's show, your comments, your questions, your hot takes. We're about to get into it. Maddie, are you ready?
Shake and bake.
Is it a good idea to continue accumulating Casper even though it's priced over 5-6 cents?
Yeah, so one of the biggest plans I gave everybody, especially when we had an enormous opportunity to accumulate Casper, 2.5, 3 cents, 4 cents, was, hey, underneath 5 cents is a no-brainer DCA. Like, let's get this bag. This is accumulation. This is textbook accumulation. Let's try to pick up as much Casper in here as possible. We have breached that now, trading right around 6 cents as of time of recording right now. So is it a bad idea to start DCA? No, I don't think it's a bad idea to start DCA. I do think it's a bad idea to lump sum invest heavily right now because we have seen a very nice appreciation from those lows. Again, trading under around 2.5 cents up to about 6 cents now, right? We're over a 2x up off of those levels. So I don't think you should be lump sum investing. Now, from a grander perspective, right? And I'm assuming that you see the long-term vision for Casper here. You see the $1, $2, $3 long-term targets. It's probably not a bad idea, right? Also, if we're going to look at potentially even, a retracement or a pop from the current extensions up to maybe 15 or 20 cents, still not a bad opportunity to maybe take that, swing trade that a little bit, and then rebuy back in on a retest of some of these levels. So I don't think it's a bad idea to start DCAing, but not to lump sum invest.
Yeah, Maddie, and I think swing trading is very scary for many because, I don't know, you've just been attacking people with this idea that you don't want to lump sum invest, but it is okay. Like, Casper's at still a great price right now, by the way. That's a lot of gains right now, even if you were to, like, let's just say lump sum invest. Again, bad idea because you'd be sitting underwater potentially coming soon here. But this idea of swing trading, Maddie, why are so many people afraid of swing trading?
I think they're afraid because they have this fear that price is going to take off without them and they're going to sell at the exact wrong time. But, I think more often than not, people hold on to everything and, kind of get sucked into the euphoria of it and then don't sell anything ever and then don't ever realize any of those profits. So, there's always a risk with no matter what you do, but not making a decision, in my opinion, is riskier than making a decision. So, if you're up, like I said, you're buying in at 5 or 6 cents, you're able to sell 15 to 20 cents, you're doing a 2 or 3x there, right, on your profits. It's never a bad idea to take 2 to 3x off the table. Or if you don't want to take all of it off the table, maybe take out your initial investment off the table, leave some of it in there and then rebuy back in on a higher low so that you're still lowering your overall average and have more Casper to work with when we do get into that, higher target range.
Sounds like a great strategy, Maddie. What makes Casper different from other L1s?
So L1, if you guys aren't familiar, is a layer 1. That is a blockchain that is not necessarily a scaling solution for another blockchain. An example of that would be Ethereum being a layer 1 and then Polygon being a layer 2. So a scaling solution for the Ethereum blockchain. So Casper is a blockchain that sits all on its own 2 feet. What really makes it unique, and I've talked about this in previous episodes, is that the goal of Casper is to make it obviously built for enterprise. So for businesses to be able to build their applications on there very easily. But everything on the Casper network is going to be a contract. And the beautiful thing about that is it makes everything upgradable and customizable to your specific needs. So including smart contracts, right? So that's going to be one of the big benefits. Another thing that sets it completely apart from L1s, it is the only blockchain that is SOC 2 certified. So SOC 2 is essentially just a certification that is relative to customer data protection. So it's essentially the highest level of protection that's available right now for consumer data. So allowing people to have the confidence to build on one of the most secure networks that's also going to have, affordable gas fees, NFTs, as well as smart contracts that you can upgrade. I think that really does set them apart from a lot of other L1s.
Great insight, Maddie. Does Casper have more utility features than Ethereum?
So I think I just outlined a lot of them there, right? We do have a lot of the similar things, right? We've got both have NFTs, both have smart contracts, right? Those are two very big things that I think are going to be over the next several years. Important things that we're going to analyze, important things we're going to improve, and especially, as we start to see use cases being more present on any of these blockchains, whether we're talking about Ethereum or Casper, that's where we're going to start to see the restraints. That's where we're going to start to see how far we can actually push the blockchains in their current form before we say, okay, is this enough? What needs to be changed? What do we need to do to accommodate this new level of demand or this new level of utility that we have for the features that are existing here? So the main thing that Casper offers, again, outside of just, of course, all of these beautiful things, is the predictable gas fees. So with Ethereum, you do not have predictable gas fees. Sometimes they can be affordable, right? You can send, a few $1,000s of USDT for, $2 or $4, and that's not horrible, right? Even though I don't love it, considering we have plenty of other solutions out there that, offer that. But if you, look at NFTs, for example, right? Especially when we're in the peak of everything, anything that's not, one of these 5 or 6 figure NFTs, you could lose pretty much all of your profits in those gas fees because you're not aware of, they fluctuate so often here on the Ethereum blockchain. So with having, predictable gas fees and everything being custom to your specific use case, I do think that it has a higher level of utility, not necessarily so many different features other than everything being an upgradable smart contract.
Very interesting insight there, Matty. Big question here. 2025, 2025, yes, and 2030. Price predictions for Casper? See the future, Matty. Give me your crystal ball.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and look 7 years down the road, which is not a bad thing, right? Like it's not a bad thing to say, hey, this is a project I really like and, it's something I want to hold on to long term. And especially if those staking rewards continue to be very lucrative, right? You keep some of that Casper locked up for 7 years, you're going to have a lot of Casper to work with down the road. Again, what a thing I always preach to you guys, and especially over on the channel, is the goal is to increase the overall amount of capital we have to work with, and that involves letting go of some of our bag towards what we would predict to be cycle top, so that we can within the next bear market accumulate more and perpetuate that strategy over long periods of time. Of course, preserving some of that bag for those long-term holds, like in this example here, talking about 2030 being 7 years out from today. From a timing perspective, nobody can say it will be this price by this date. It is the most foolish thing that I ever see. I see it constantly on Twitter, and those are the ones that always get all the likes and the retweets and, just all the attention because they're entertaining, right? But the reality is, if you were to ask somebody, how do you know it's going to happen by this date? They can't ever give you sound reasoning behind it. They can maybe give you a few catalysts that are out there, or this is going to be implemented by this date, or we're going to have this utility by this date, and that's what's going to make the price go absolutely crazy and get here by that time. But if we're going to look at, just long-term targets, right? I think that for Casper, let's go ahead and just take a look at the chart here together. We've got some extensions here, right? So here on the KuCoin chart, we have limited price history. I'll take you guys back to the Huobi chart. But we have, this top around here around 5.5 cents. We had the swing low around 2.5 cents. You guys can see we broke through all of these retracements and we are now breaking above the previous all-time high. So short term, I'm looking at 7.2 cents, 10 cents, 13 cents, and just about 15 cents as those short-term targets. But if we go ahead and look over at a different chart, so let's go ahead and look for our Huobi chart. Oops, go ahead and drag the T back in here. You know what? I think they may have taken the Huobi chart temporarily down because they were having a pricing issue. But the previous all-time high for the Huobi chart was right around $64, $68. I don't think that Casper gets there maybe even over 7 years, just because there is so much capital needs support of the market, and the specific use case that Casper offers here is a stickier solution, but it's a slower moving solution. So, overall, I think that, if you wanted to say where could Casper get to, in the next 7 years, I say that probably somewhere up in that $10 to $14 range is probably a good long-term target. The Fibonacci's do support that on the Huobi chart, and I do apologize that we're not able to look at that here together today. They are, again, having that issue with the API Oracle right now. But again, by end of cycle, I am looking for somewhere between, on the very, very low end, things don't go our way, and, the whole bull market is a lot more mild than everybody expects, which is, I don't think is the case. We could probably expect somewhere around like 70 or 80 cents. But I do think that we get upwards of, $1, $2, or possibly $4. I think $4 is probably the pinnacle expectation that we should have for Casper at the next top of the bull market.
What's up with the token supply, and why is it always increasing, Matty?
Yeah, so Casper has a inflationary rate of 8% per year. And that's information that you can find right there on the Casper website. This isn't like hidden information and they're just trying to like pull a fast one on you. You guys can also look at the token distribution schedules. You can see what they were in 2021. You can see what they were in 2022. You can see what all of the options were for those distribution schedules and what you could have paid for those Casper, pretty much when the mainnet launched, right? So you could have paid anywhere from 1.5 cents to 2.5 cents per Casper. So that kind of just depends on what lockup schedule worked best for you at the time. And then that inflationary rate is already baked in. So if you guys think about Ethereum prior to the merge to the proof of stake model, their inflationary rate was around 4% per year. And really nobody had any issues with that. Ethereum was the GOAT because, it did a 20x, it did a 30x. So, nobody cares about the inflationary rate. So the inflationary rate really isn't that important to me because of the proof of stake model and the staking rewards. So we're earning 10.7% right now on our Casper, which means that even if you're going to bake into the fact that there's an 8% inflationary rate, you're still earning 2.7% net on your Casper. So you're still staying ahead of the curve by 2.7%, regardless of that inflationary rate. The other thing to consider is, like, for example, Cardano, right, did absolutely amazing in the last bull run, went several dollars, and it's got an exponentially higher circulating supply than Casper. It would take Casper 10 years at the current inflationary rate to catch up to Cardano's total circulating supply. So it's not really something that I'm concerned about. And again, this is something that we are trading within cycles. If you're talking about, hey, should I just hold Casper from now and until 10 years from now and not sell anything? Yeah, you might be a victim of some of that inflationary pressure, right? From some of the depreciation that comes from that. But remember, when we're talking about the bull run, right, and we're talking about those parabolas, they set in very, very quickly. So that's not really something I'm concerned about when we're talking about that, that price appreciation that we're looking for to get to some of our targets there, because I'm looking to sell at the end of the cycle. So again, what does that opportunity present us if that inflationary effect sets in? Is that if it does bring price down, that's going to bring price down a lot more aggressively in a bear market and allow us to reaccumulate Casper at a much lower price.
Are you going to be sharing with everyone, Maddie, that you're going to be selling at the top?
Oh, of course. Definitely got to tell them to sell the tippy top right there.
Top enterprise use cases, total addressable market for enterprise.
So total addressable market for enterprises is a very, very broad question because, right, you don't really even know all of the use cases that could come to a network until you realize that there's problems that you're not even aware of, right? And there's always going to be a new problem that I'm not aware of or I'm not privy to because there's so many sectors out there that are facing problems that they're not vocal about, right, until it's present to everybody. And you're like, wow, okay, that's a $10 billion problem that people are having that could be solved with the Casper network. But one of the top use cases right now that's being presented for the Casper network is intellectual property, and that's going to be through a company, IPWE. There's going to be somewhere between minted $7 and $10 billion worth of intellectual property minted on the Casper blockchain in these coming months here. And the reason that this makes such a big deal for the entire community for the blockchain is that with intellectual property now, right, you have the patenting process and you got to submit your application and someone reviews it and then you get your patent. And then that allows you to protect your idea, right? So whether it's a design for something or it's just a creative idea you have, but it's unique and you patent it, right? So that's very exciting. But there's not really this liquid marketplace where people can say, I have the rights to this design or this idea. I want to sell this as an NFT or as a contract, right? So what you're taking is a very illiquid industry and you're making it very, very liquid. Now imagine you have marketplaces with all this intellectual property where people can bid on different intellectual pieces of property. People can buy fractional pieces of intellectual property. So you see an idea or solution that you think is fantastic and someone's patented it and you go, wow, I'd like to buy 1/1000th of this idea. You could potentially buy a fractional share of this. This also allows companies to tokenize other things that they have, like debt on their balance sheet, and you could buy debt that's in a company from a tokenized asset or buy a fraction of that debt. So, I know that it's not necessarily the sexiest use case, but there is a lot of money in illiquid assets that could become a lot more liquid if they're tokenized and offered as an NFT or smart contract.
Geez, Maddie, you just gave it all to them. Well, that was the last Casper question. Maddie, I bring this to you, and you'll see why. Is texting even coming back? I've been missing everything. So, Maddie, one of the features we offer at cryptocharge.com is these alerts through text. What has been going on? And I'm kind of in the know here, so I'm trying to play dumb here. But what's up with this censorship behind crypto and texting and these services? Why is this happening with us?
Yeah, it's really, really wild. So our service provider, Twilio, and I'm in appeal with them right now over this issue. This is the third time I've had to go round and round with them over this appeal, is the fact that they don't want us texting anybody that has anything to do with crypto, which is absolutely ridiculous because, I get all kinds of garbage texts from all kinds of people, and I text stop back, and they continue to send me the subscription text, and they don't care, and they violate it in all kinds of ways. And we're only texting people that opted in and say, yes, we want to text so we know when you're going live. We want to text to know if there's something important we need to know about, an important news update, or hey, I'm selling this coin here, or I just dumped 30% of my fiat back here on this coin. We want to make sure you guys get those updates immediately. So we're going round and round with Twilio right now to get those text messages back on for you guys. But in the meantime, we are sending them out via email, and we are sending them out via Discord. Luckily, those are not as easy to censor, but unfortunately, most text providers are dealing with this right now because they don't want to get in trouble with the government, and the government doesn't really care if they help us or not. So it's kind of just this big cycle of us not being able to communicate as effectively. So I do apologize, and I hope that we do get this resolved in the near future, but those are the two short-term solutions.
With everything that's going right in crypto right now, this euphoria that's starting to set in the crypto market, we still have these hazards, you could call them, in crypto, but this is just all part of the process, Maddie. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice to leave the team with today, maybe regarding Casper, or maybe regarding the rest of this year and what you're looking towards?
Yeah, so remember again, guys, looking at the markets, we had a very hot last few months for Bitcoin specifically, right? From basically start of the year up until recently, we've done over a 2x on Bitcoin. We've had things like Render do over a 5 or a 6x. We've had, we now have a little bit of a meme coin action coming out here with Pepe, right? We've got some of the signs of kind of that euphoria set in, but I want you guys to remember what we have seen in the last two cycles, regardless if we're talking about 2019 or the most recent, in 2020, right, when we had that C19 crash. There's generally some sort of backtest or deep correction that happens after these big euphoric moments. So don't feel like because you're seeing all of this action popping off right now that you need to be involved all in. Stick to the plan. I'm personally just DCAing all through the summer. We can absolutely get these summer lulls that come where May through August, we basically kind of get very sideways action. So I'm going to use that opportunity to overall, just increase my bag, stay focused on my 4 or 5 top assets. So I'd recommend you guys do the same. Stay focused. Don't feel like you're missing out. And I think that you guys are going to be really, really happy when top of next year comes around and we actually have the catalyst for a bull run ready.
Absolutely, and especially if you get that free crypto that you can get if you like this video and leave a comment, CSPR, you be getting free crypto that you could, Maddie, what is the return on that? 2,500 Casper? How much money would you be making on that?
Obviously at a $1 target, that's $2,500 that you didn't have to put anything up for. If you guys stake it and you're earning that 10% APY and you hold on to it until next year, obviously that's a lot more Casper for you. So, I'm excited to give it away to one of you guys, and maybe it'll be your first bag of Casper. So hopefully you guys drop some comments in there for us, and I can give away one of you guys.
Maddie, you're so sweet for doing this. So gracious, Maddie. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for joining us, team. And until next time, see ya.